I'm Matt for ThirtyAndNerdy.com, and this is going to be our video review for Resident Evil Revelations 2, Episode 1. The copy that I'm reviewing is for PlayStation 4, and here we go. Okay, so a brief overview in regards to my history with this series is that I'm somebody who grew up with Resident Evil. I've played and loved 1, 2, 3, 4. I liked 5, not 6 so much. I've also played Code Veronica, the remake, 0, and the first Revelations. So the interesting thing about Revelations 2 is that there's a couple of different ways that you can buy it. You can either opt to hop online right now and pay $25 for the entire season pass, which I believe gets you episodes 1 through 5. Granted, you can't play them all right now, but as they release week after week, you can just automatically download the next chunk and begin playing from where you left off. Or you can go online and pay $6 for the first episode by itself, which is actually really cool, because if you're on the fence about it, kind of like I was, you know, you can pay $6. It's a lot easier to justify than a full $25, and you can kind of get a feel for where things are going with the series and whether or not you're going to like it. So ultimately, what this becomes about is whether or not A, you should just dive right in and spend the $25 on the whole season because the game is amazing and you shouldn't miss out on Resident Evil Revelations 2, or whether or not you should just drop the $6 on episode 1, and because it's only $6, whether or not it's worth your time. Tire screech. Okay. So what's going on in this game, and what do you do? So you start off playing as Claire Redfield and Moira Burton. Moira is Barry Burton's daughter, and you begin playing right after Claire and Moira get kidnapped by some mysterious organization and brought over to a prison island. Revelations 2 definitely feels like a low-budget Resident Evil title. Like, Resident Evil has never been known for stellar voice acting, but I feel like it's at least always been known for really good production value and like fun scenarios and fun characters and stuff like that. But unfortunately in this game I found like the writing to be worse than usual, which says a lot for a Resident Evil title. So the writing's not very good, the voice acting's not very good. I can tell that they tried really hard to make the prison environment dark and moody and creepy, and there are moments where it succeeds, but I feel like overall the environments are kind of bland and uninspired. Same thing for the enemy design. Bland, uninspired. I didn't like the way the enemies animated. I didn't like the hit detection on the enemies, like when you shoot them, the way that their bodies react and things like that. It just felt not rushed, but like I said, low budget. And so because the entire game feels cheap in a certain way, the thing that we have to ask next is, where does the game excel? What is it good at? How is it quite possibly worth $6, let alone $25? You can get through Revelation 2's main story content in anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending on if you're looking to just breeze through the storyline in order to know what's going on, or if you want to play it, say, a second time to pick up all the hidden stuff that you might have missed your first time through. That said, once you're done with the main story content, there's Raid Mode. And Raid Mode is where Revelations 2 really excels. Raid Mode is about straight up action. It's about destroying zombies and monsters and other weird creatures to techno music and dance music and rock music. It's about light RPG elements where you take a character from level 1 and you blast your way from point A to point B through different environments, and when you get to point B, you're rewarded. You're rewarded with experience points that makes your character level up. You're rewarded with skill points, which you can use to unlock different abilities for your character. You're rewarded with gold, which you can do to purchase weapon upgrades and skill upgrades and all sorts of other stuff. It's like a very light RPG. It exists outside of the main story content of the game, and therefore if the main story content rubbed you the wrong way, you still might like Raid Mode. In the end, I didn't end up enjoying this game very much, and I definitely won't be checking out any further episodes in it. I didn't enjoy the bland environments, the bland enemy design, an emphasis on action over horror, the horrible writing, the horrible voice acting, but I do recognize that for people who are looking for just kind of like a straight up new action experience to enjoy, maybe a game to tide you over until other bigger, more prominent titles come out or something like that, paying $6 for this game's raid mode alone could be good enough to, you know, like warrant a purchase. I definitely say don't hop into the season pass without at least first trying the $6 version out. And that's that. Wow, it got dark in here. You may notice this cookie getting smaller. Sorry. So, so because you can spend $6 and essentially try the experience out for yourself, ultimately what this becomes about is whether or not the game is worth your time. Because I mean, like $6, you know, not really. That's a fast food meal, you know. So you can give yourself diarrhea. I put that in there because I knew it was